Okay, so today I'm talking about human impact and how it impacts the earth. So I'm talking about oil spills. Oil spills affect animals and plants in two ways. That from the oil by itself and the response to cleanup. Spilled oil harms living things by getting in their feathers because their feathers have natural oils on them, and it helps the water to roll off them just by being in the water. But because of the chemicals inside the oils, and they get into the feathers, it messes up the coating on their feathers, and they won't be able to get rid of the water. Well, the water won't roll off of them like it used to. Oil comes from four main sources, and that's the natural seeps from the strata between the seafloor, the petroleum extraction, so oil drilling, and petroleum transportation, so spills from tankers like planes and other things that carry oils, and runoff from petroleum consumption. Half of the oil that enters the ocean comes from drains and rivers, and they waste from runoff from cities and industries like big companies that have big oil companies.
It just affects a lot. It's like a ripple effect.
When oil spills occur in the ocean, the oil may spread across they spread across for miles of open water and up into beaches, littering them with sticky oil remnants called tar balls. And these are what stay in the ocean on top of the water, and this is what the animals get into. This is how they get all the oil on them. Okay, the different types of oils that is spilled matters when they get onto the animals. The different types of oils behave differently in the environment, and the animals and birds that are affected, they are affected differently by the oil. It's not easy to say which kind of oil is worse than the other. There's many different types of oils, but the main two different types of oils is light oil and dark oil. Light oil is the oil from gas and all that stuff. Fuel oil and diesel oils. They evaporate more quickly and they're less harmful to the animals, and they're easier to clean up. Heavy oils are like the big black oils that you most likely see when you think of animals and destruction. They don't evaporate as quickly. They can last for months and even years if they are removed. And short-term threats from heavy oils come from their ability to smother the organisms, and the oil can have long-term effects like tumors that the animals can get from the oils. And yeah, so humans don't actually realize how bad the animals Okay, here's some pictures. So this duck is covered in oil. So in order to get the oils off of the ducks or off of the birds and things, the only thing that really works is detergent. Have you ever seen the commercials for Dawn commercials? And it's like they're cleaning up the ducks with the detergent. That's the only thing that gets. So a lot of questions are, well, why don't they just use detergent in the oceans when they have oils? I don't know why they don't use it. They just don't. But it doesn't make any sense. These are some otters that are affected by oil.
They're so cute.
And it's so sad. Okay, so first we're going to see how oil flows out in the ocean. So for the model, I have some vegetable oil.
Exactly. Would you do the honors with putting the lid
Okay, so you see how it just sits on top. It doesn't mix. So it doesn't go anywhere. So for regular ocean, there's always wind that blows stuff and carries it. So to to see how it actually moves around the ocean.
And then you have France, which still
That's cool.
90% of countries other than us, they're one off the straight. It's crazy. So
Wow.
you have to think when you're teaching these different ways to approach pollution so they can understand.
It doesn't mix. It just sits on top and it just.
You should do this, you should do that.
Okay. So for a regular feather,
So what
this
way
is like a bird feather. So with a regular feather, if you just put it in regular water, you can easily just wipe the water off. The water. But when it gets mixed in with oil, you can't just wipe it off. It's stuck there. So,
like you can show them different things like this to
I'm gonna
say
get a paper towel.
bad.
Can we hold it? Yeah, sure.
No, there's somewhere there.
Environmentally friendly household fertilizer because your fertilizer gets
That's really
into
cool.
the soil and goes into like my family has a well.
Thank you.
So any fertilizer that we
So,
see into our well.
as you can see, the oil is still on it.
Have you ever noticed like walking around and you see a family
Poor little bird. And you can't wipe it off. So, what they do is use detergent. And they try to wipe it off, try to clean it off. So we're going to see how well the oil actually comes off of the feather after you try to clean it off with the detergent.
like my family took us to like Green Springs Park to walk around and walk past the river. It was just disgusting. They're so
It's all silky.
nasty.
Ew.
There was a kid's underwear because he was standing next to his underwear, not wearing them. You're not taking your hair on water. And then people who ride in the boats, sometimes.
So there's still some remnants of oil, but it is, the oil is off. But it's just wet right now. But that's the only way that oil will come off of there. So
You know how we detect water pollution? Not just plastic.
So, with that, what effects do you think that waves and wind have on oil spills?
What effect does it have? I guess like when you're blowing it around and like it spreads out more and it separates, so it's not all concentrated in one spot, so it spreads everywhere.
Right.
Even though it doesn't mix, it still spreads.
Right. So just because the wind is blowing and there's waves, it's moving the oil, but it's not completely getting rid of the oil. And because the oil is moving, it's getting more everywhere, and this is affecting everything more. What did this experiment tell you about the effects of oil spills on animals?
That like really they can't help themselves after an oil spill. Like they need the help of humans. So like human impact causes them to get stuck and like their feathers to be covered in oil, but also human impact is the only way they can get better or recover from it.
What other wildlife do you think can be affected by oil spills, not just marine mammals, other wildlife?
I guess those that drink the water.
Anything could be affected, like those that drink water, those animals that eat the marine life, and all the animals that's like in that food chain.
So then eventually it all comes back to us.
Yeah, eventually. So in what ways do you think humans might be directly affected by oil? In what ways do you think? In what ways do you think humans might be directly affected by oil spills?
guess, recreational uses. So, like, if there's an oil spill near, like, the beach that you go to, then I guess you can't get in the water because you get covered in oil.
Like fishing and stuff, like catching food, if they're all like contaminated or covered with oil, then it's probably not good for us to eat.
Okay, how can we reduce the impact of oil on the wildlife?
Are you
I
guys?
guess use more caution.
Yeah, precaution.
I guess be more prepared too. So like if you were to have a spill, then like be ready to clean it. I guess I know it's hard because they're so big, but be proactive about it. I guess instead of waiting till it happens to do something about it.
Yeah, have like a prevention like idea set in place in case it does happen.
Why can't oil be washed away like some other substances? Because it's so thick, the thickness, the consistency, the way that oil is. It doesn't mix with anything, so it just sticks to everything.
Well, just that's a bigger big group for it, okay? I'm not a big group, okay? That's cool. Okay. And then hit my next.
Okay, do y'all know, have y'all heard about any like major oil companies that had an oil spill, or have y'all heard of anything that happened with this?
There was one recently, right? Not too many years ago, yeah.
It was actually Exxon. So Exxon had an oil spill in the Gulf,
Yeah.
and it was just like this big thing. And a lot of animals, like I think these pictures were from that oil spill. And that's when they had that whole thing when Dawn was making the commercials about oil spills and all of the marine life that was being affected. So all in all, the whole thing is humans have like you said, humans have an impact. They impact it by, they're the reason why the oil spills are happening. Like, they're letting the oils into the ocean and all that stuff. But then again, at the end of the day, they're the ones that can actually help control marine life that's in it by helping clean it up and actually
Water,
helping to
yes,
prevent it.
but let's do.
That's it.